Region 1A Director, Laura Dickerson. Good afternoon. So first, if I may, I just want to start with a point of privilege. And I know that people have questions about the election, so I just want to start with that, then I'm going to tell my story. So first and foremost, I just want to say it's not over. And we have another week to go. So on Thursday, the 16th, they will be counting the challenge ballots. There are 1,608 of them. And Ray Curry currently is 645 down. So there's hope. We're going to hang in there. Hopefully we can get Ray Curry in office, right? We got Pastor here. I know she's going to be praying, and everybody else on there needs praying, because really it's important for our organization that we have a true leader, somebody that understands what goes on a day-to-day. He's done a great job as president. So we want that to continue within our organization. We have enough disruption. So now I'll start with my story. So I have the great, first, let me say I'm honored to be here today. And I do have the great honor of being Region 1A Director. It's a job that I love. It's a job that I embrace. But I also have some great experiences, and I have many members here. I love representing the membership within the region. So as she said, I am the first in the history of the UAW, African-American woman, to sit on the International Executive Board. The first to serve as regional director. Yes. First to serve as assistant director under then director, now Vice President Chuck Brown. All right. So I say that because the theme, and it's funny, you always think about what you're going to say, and God put it on my heart to say we can do it, right? So I just want to say to everyone, if I can do it, you can do it too. This has been a journey, and I think many of you heard me at the Black History Month breakfast that they had at Local 600. They talked about my 25-year journey to get to regional director. It wasn't from yesterday to today. It took time. And the reason it took time was because they needed to prepare me to be able to do the job and do it right. So when I come before you, I'm not speaking because I'm not experienced. I'm speaking from experience. Many of you in this room raised me. So you know, Peaches, Calvin, look, Pastor, KK, Sister, Frank Woods in the back. I mean, I've been around a long time, Michael Joseph. And so it takes time. It takes time to be able to sit at the bargaining table across from a company and bargain with them as a woman. Because a lot of times they will look to someone who's sitting next to you and they're in a lesser position than you. And you have to say, wait a minute, right here. Right here. And I do it and have done it. Because I worked hard to get where I'm at. And I am an experienced bargainer. I do know how to represent members in grievance proceedings and arbitration. But that doesn't happen overnight. You have to learn. And so a lot of people think that they can go from A to Z just like that. You can't. It happens over time. So this 25-year journey, it happened. But it didn't also happen on my own. I talk about the people in this room, but I had mentors to raise me. And so Peaches knows Bernie Rickey was my very first mentor. I met him at the bargaining table. His hair was all black at the time, and I laughed about that. But it goes to show how time passes. And so, you know, Bernie will be moving on, as we all know at this point in time. Kind of, you know, sad moment, but also too, he's got to turn the reins over because they have prepared us. They prepared the next generation to take over in this union so that we can continue fighting and continue fighting strong. But like I said, you can't get it on your own. Chuck Brownie was another great mentor of mine, and is to this day. I had the the great honor the other day of officiating a meeting. I won't get into a lot of details, kind of a private meeting, but it was the first time in the history a woman chaired that meeting.
Yeah.
A woman. Thank you, thank you.
Let's do it.
Yeah, but you know, it was to show everyone sitting there too. I'm sitting up there with all men, with the exception of Michelle Thomas and Angela Powell, who was on the phone. But I say that to say that we can do it. We can sit right next to a man and do the exact same thing that they're doing. Just have to prepare ourselves. And we also have to make sure we mentor each other. You know, it's something in mentoring, like Michelle, I always look to her, Ashley, that's my little sister, because we are sorority sisters, actually. But you know, it takes time to mentor as well. We have a responsibility as we move forward to make sure that we mentor, because we won't be in these positions forever. You know, I was fortunate, very lucky to come out of a strong local within the UAW. And I've had many mentors, Roy L. Gamble. I worked for Jimmy Settles. You know, and I talk about Bernie, Jerry Sullivan, who passed on, but you know, we've had some great leadership come out of that local, but they also, you know, they took what they had and they put it into us because they realized they wouldn't always be there. Now we're in a position to lead. And the reason we're in that position is because we have had the opportunity to be trained, to be mentored, to be loved by people who have a love and passion for this organization. So I say to all of you, as a woman in this union, we can do it. Now I will say, I'm the first, but I'm gonna take a moment because we have two other women now, and this is probably the first time in history you'll see 3 Black women sit on the International Executive Board. Margaret Mott as Secretary Treasurer, and we have LaShawn English as Region 1 Director. And so, you know, regardless of how they got there, they're there. and you know, we're gonna work our way through, but it is a historic moment because when you really think about it, you're not gonna ever see that again. Trust me. But you know, we have to make sure too that the door stays open. You have 3 right now, but we have to make sure there's still someone there. And so, you know, it's my responsibility, and I take it seriously to make sure that we mentor and train, because we can do it. We have all the skills and ability to do it, just like the ones before us have done. You know, Peaches, I will tell this quick story. I was a young woman. I rolled up in Local 600, just smiling and grinning, and you know, all the men were smiling and grinning at me. And so Peaches, she walks up to me and she grabs me and she says, "Young lady," she said, "you know, if you do the right thing," I'm gonna tell exactly what you said. But if you do the right thing and stay focused, you can go a long way. And you know, her words at first, I was a little offended. But you know what? She was right. She was right. And you know what? How many people would have done that? A lot of people would just let you make the mistakes and bump your head. She said, I see something in her, and I'm gonna tell her. She told me. And so, you know, I appreciate that. Thank you, by the way. Yeah. But no, I can't tell you how she said it because they're recording. I'll tell you privately how she said it. It was aggressive. But, you know, I appreciate that. You know, we have a job to do. We have a lot of work ahead of us. We have bargaining coming up in the fall. And we have some people that may not necessarily have all the skills and abilities, but we have staff in those departments to be able to carry things while we're in this transition. But it's important to note too, we're in the biggest transition in the automobile industry since its inception. And that's with electric vehicles. You know, they are everywhere. Hopefully, and I'm praying, I'm almost assured 2024, they'll be breaking ground in Region 1A for a plant, a new energy plant, which is an electric vehicle plant in Region 1A, 2,200 jobs. Going to be everywhere because this is our way of life. So either we have to get on board and understand it, or they, they fly by. And we want to make sure. Someone asked me at a meeting recently, how can we help the UAW? I said, buy our products. I said, because that helps us. I said, be there to support us. I said, is this legislation, and let me say this, because this is a great day to be a UAW member and a union member. Because this past week, we are almost done with repealing right to work. On Tuesday, they will be meeting in Lansing to finalize that. But, that is an awesome accomplishment. And we got there because we have politicians that are there to support legislation for us. And as we move forward, I'm just going to say this, I hope Rick Blacker doesn't mind. Let me give a disclaimer. UAW Region 1A hasn't endorsed anyone at this point in time. But I do want to point out that there aren't any African Americans, Congress people. There is, Senator John James, Congressperson, excuse me, but he's a Republican. He's not for us. So we're going to be looking at that as we move forward. And I think many of you got a resume to a young man by the name of Hill Harper. He does live in the city of Detroit, and he will be, I think, seeking that seat when Debbie Stabenow retires. So that's just something for all of us to keep in mind. I know Alyssa Slockin has been good to the UAW, but we have a need, and that need is to see someone who looks like us in that seat. We don't have it anymore because our issues are different. I spoke at our black tie on Saturday, and I had the opportunity to have Garland Gilchrist, Lieutenant Governor there, as well as Kyra Bolden. And we were talking about the Michigan Supreme Court. And I told the story, and a lot of people were like, wow, we didn't know that about you. So I'll tell it here. And that is, many people know my father got killed in line of duty. He was a Wayne County sheriff, and there's a jail named after him, the William Dickerson Detention Facility. Right. But what a lot of people didn't know is during that time, my family sued Wayne County for wrongful death, right? And that's what most people do, because they snuck a gun into the jail and he lost his life. So that case went all the way to the Michigan Supreme Court. So we appealed it to the Michigan Supreme Court. They heard our case and we lost on what was called the fireman's rule, basically meaning that it was part of his duty to run into danger. But what's more important about that is at that time, it was more Republican controlled at that point. So you have to have people who understand you and your issues sitting in them seats. And so we need to make sure that as we screen candidates, and I have many people who come to our screenings, that we have candidates that understand our values and what we are fighting for out here. So, it's just important as we move forward that we have those folks that support the legislation that supports us. So I just wanted to stop by and say a few words and press upon you my 25-year story to getting here and the hard work that it took. You can't, like I said, you can't get there overnight. And if you do, you're going to struggle. Yeah. So there are steps, take your time, but you can do it. So with that being said, that's all I had today. Thank you.
All right. Stand up, Mike.
One more time.
All right, moving right along. This next young lady, I've watched her grow from a young adolescent running around the church to a full-fledged, beautiful, amazing young lady. She really doesn't need an introduction, but since she's my little sister, I'm going to do it anyway. Ashley Lewis, one of the youngest international reps that we have.
Yeah. Right.
Ashley is the current, are you the director now?
No.
Assistant director. Okay, so I was right in mind. She's the current assistant director of the women's department. If you were able to go to the women's conference this last August, this was Ashley's first time presiding over that conference. Now, I've been to several conferences, and they all have been good. But this last conference was amazing. When I say amazing, it was amazing. Not only because I'm biased, because I am biased to her, I am. So, full transparency, I am. But because she opened up the doors for us to really see each other. Not just see each other just because, you know, that's Auntie Peaches, yeah, that's her. No, to really see each other. Not only if you had a title, but just to see you just every day of who you are and what you are and where you are. She then started encouraging us. She started doing, I call it the Ashley Lewis show. But she has, I think it's monthly, talk about it, yeah, talk about it. And she opens up to tell us it's okay to have self-care while we're working. You know, it's okay to have checkout days to where you don't do anything. I watched this young lady be a wonderful mother of 3 to some amazing young men. She's also a Dr. Wendell Anthony Fellow. She does tremendous things. But the one thing that I love about her the most, she gives the amazing hugs. The next person you will hear is our very own Ashley Lewis.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for that introduction, primarily because it was one that wasn't full of titles, really. It was about impact, which to me matters most. And I'm grateful to be here because this is a marriage of church and union for me. And people don't realize, if you're not familiar with Fellowship Chapel, we are social justice oriented and we are activist oriented. And the speakers you will hear from today, they're from Fellowship Chapel. So I'm just grateful to be amongst family and amongst church members as well. I want to say good afternoon to you, the CBTU chapter of Metro Detroit. And I want to bring greetings on behalf of International Secretary Treasurer Margaret Mott, who serves as Director of the Women's Department, and Administrative Assistant Rebecca Sewell. I want to thank Michael Joseph. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I want to extend a special thank you to my sister, Tanya Ray, for this opportunity. I also want to bring greetings on behalf of the Coalition of Labor Union Women, of which I had the honor of serving with President Elise Bryant, who actually is in Flint, Michigan today. So a lot of us were driving back and forth, but I want to bring greetings on behalf of CLU, where I serve as the UAW Vice President, and each of the unions have a representative on the National Officers Council. So I just wanted to be clear on the structure of CLU, but also to highlight the importance of us as constituency groups really working cohesively. I think if no one else understands it, constituency groups understands that everybody has to be at the table. And it's not just a table for collective bargaining, but it's the table for justice. It's one where everyone has the opportunity to realize dignity and respect in their lives, not just in their workplaces. So I actually want to start by sharing the story of a young woman. This young woman enters into the workplace and she just dropped off her children. She has her earbuds in and she is about to jump on the line, relieving the previous operator to build trucks at Flint Truck and Bus. And about an hour into her shift, after she's been listening to some good music, because for those of you who know, that music saves your life on the line. Takes you out of that presence, right? And an hour into it, the daycare facility calls and says, "We're closed. You have to pick up your children in an hour." So this young lady's frantic. She goes to the team leader. She says, "I have to go pick up my children. I don't even know where I'm going to take them. I might have to stay home." He says, "You're not going to be able to stay home. You're going to have to ask the supervisor, and he's going to have the final say on whether you can leave or not." So the supervisor comes over and he says to me, "You're the highest," oops, didn't mean to say that. He says to the young lady, "You're the highest producer on my line. So I'll let you go, but you have to come back." So the young lady ends up finding someone in Warren, Michigan, who can watch her children. And they watch her children while she drops them off, drives back to Flint, Michigan, jumps back on the line, gets off work, drives back to Warren, Michigan, and actually ends up renting a hotel room because the daycare was closed the next day as well because they didn't have power, in order to make sure that she made it to work on time because she knew exactly what she was going to encounter from that supervisor. And less than a month later, this same supervisor would move to discipline her. And it wasn't the discipline that made her cry literally for 4 hours straight while on the assembly line. It was the fact that she had done everything right, that she never asked for anybody's pity while she showed up to work every single day after losing her grandmother, her father, taking care of her mother who had dementia, going through a nasty divorce. She didn't want pity. She had done everything right, and she took a day because she was feeling sick and COVID was running rampant through the plant. And so the supervisor had the nerve to put her on notice. And so she wept for 4 hours, but thank God for the union brothers and sisters around her because they carried her for those 4 hours. They didn't ask a word. But when she went in for a disciplinary interview, it was the committee person who started to ask questions because he said, "You have nothing on your record. I've never seen anything like this before." So he starts to ask me, "What's going on? What's going on?" And by the fourth time, I start to share my story.
All right.
And it's interesting because as much as I didn't want pity, the reality of it is that my story motivated him to implement a policy that saved me from being penalized. And to me, the key of this is that this story is common. There isn't a woman you know that hasn't gone through something, a woman who hasn't made the impossible possible. This is something that we all do because we all have to make sacrifices to make ends meet. And while many of us will say that this is part of being a working mother, I think it's our call to make it better for the next generation because they need greater opportunities. Imagine if the government started working on behalf of working families by creating infrastructure for childcare and elder care. Imagine fully paid leave for parents that extends beyond the doctor's orders. Because I know as a representative that men also want to be at home with their children when they're born, not only women. And that we also need greater than 6 weeks and 12 weeks. We need way more time with our children. And what are we prioritizing when the first thing is always work? We need humane leave policies, affordable childcare and elder care that matches non-traditional work schedules. It's not just in our workplaces of assembly plants, but also if you are a nurse, for example, if you work in the healthcare field, even your graduate student instructors, they have lives that extend beyond the traditional 9 to 5. They have to do research. So there's a huge need there. And the economy loses $93 billion a year because we don't have that infrastructure. $93 billion a year. So this is the work that we do within the UAW Women's Department. The Women's Department was established in 1955 with the mission of working to alleviate the inequalities created by race and class while continuing to address gender injustice as it relates to discrimination in hiring, pay, promotion, training, seniority protection, and retention in the workplace. This mission is realized every time women share their stories Because instead of saying that that's terrible or giving a shoulder to cry on, we must do the work to ensure that women are able to stay and remain in the workplace because of policy. Not because they need your empathy or your pity, but because there's policy to make sure that they stay and remain in the workplace. You see, on the sleeve of the visual, we all look good. But we all have stories behind all of our faces, behind the nice clothes and the glitter and the glam. We all have a story. But it's important for us to really question when we look at people, what does healed look like? What does a single mother who has access to affordable and flexible childcare look like? What does a family with a parent who has dementia finding resources and support look like? It looks like us, mobilizing collectively, men, women, non-binary, in all of our workplaces and communities to drive the resolution to solve working people's issues, which is everybody's issues. So we have to be our own heroes at the local, state, and federal level. The department is currently amplifying the stories of champions of labor through our educational platform, Talk About It Wednesdays, where women share their stories on mental health, working while caregiving, striking for better wages, and they're creatively strategizing on how to counter the employer and when they are striking. We had one young woman who mentioned that they went caroling while they were having a stockholder meeting because they were out on strike for 8 months. They were in there planning their dollars, how they were going to spend money while these people had no money coming in. So the question that I have for you all is that history is rooted in story. The question for us all is, what is your story? Thank you.
I'm standing. On your toes, on your toes.
Thank you, Ashley, for always being willing to share your story and be more supportive. Now, as you heard, Ashley said, yep, the flyer is full of Fellowship Chapel. To where I'm rooted at. To where, before I came to the UAW, is where I learned my voice. This next young lady, I've also watched come up through the church. When I first noticed her, she was just dancing around the sanctuary, just gracefully doing her thing. Now, this young lady, if you visit the church, or maybe even in the community, you may have heard of her. I call her my fire and brimstone sister. She's my big sister. I don't know if you remember this story, but the most embarrassing moment I think I had with her was one day I was mad with Jesus. I was in the sanctuary and I was cutting up. And I thought it was just me and Jesus. I happened to look up and she was standing right there. So now I'm also embarrassed because not only am I having an argument with my father, I done did it in front of one of my sisters. But then she tapped me on the shoulder and told me it was okay. Because sometimes he wants us to be mad and question him. But at that time, I thought I was crazy. But I wasn't. She made me understand. This young lady has helped me with my children, even helped me with some things that I thought was the last thing in my life that would happen. She's always been there to have an ear. She's one of the baddest, boldest principals in Detroit Public Schools CD. She's self-employed. She's a doula. She's a counselor. She's an awesome mother of 3. She's the proud wife of Baba Lumumba. The next voice you will hear is my big sister, Reverend Dr. Myra Lisa Reynolds.
Y'all all right? Hey now, what's up, family? Okay, I'm gonna pull it away just a little bit because I'm a little loud. You know, I graduated from Mumford High School. I was on the cheer team. I'm a little loud. You know, it just stuck with me all these years later. Listen, thank you, first of all, for inviting me. Thank you for thinking of me, thinking that I could come into your circle, to this family circle, because certainly this is a family. And that's what I want to talk about today for just a few minutes. So I want to thank Tanya Ray. We've been together a long time. She can call me her big sister because I'm older than her, but we've been in fellowship together. I've been here almost 30 years. Well, a little over 30 years. And I'm so thankful that I went on that field trip with my cousins to welcome home another cousin from Iraq. At that time, you know, their Project Desert Storm before all the other wars. And we were talking and they were telling me about this church. They had a dance ministry. And I said, ain't no church in Detroit, ain't no dance ministry. Because I traveled all over the world performing. And they said, and we go to Africa. I said, hold on. You got a church in the city of Detroit. They support arts and the African Center. I got to come see for myself. And I've been there for 30 years. So I'm thankful to God that he led me there. And I'm thankful for this institution that we're in today. Right here on Livernois, the Avenue Fashion, ain't been gentrified yet, okay? Because I grew up on 7 Mile and Myers, and I moved back to Detroit after traveling around the world for 8 years, and I wanted to be close to my family, so I always lived within 3 miles of that radius because my mother's home was my home base. My parents have now become ancestors, so I'm just still in the neighborhood, keeping it good. I do want to talk about family for just a moment. How much time do I have? I don't want to run over. I don't want to upset nobody. I'm good. All right. So first, I want to just talk about how I'm dressed right now, right? Because usually, you know, I have my gala on and my garb, but I want to talk about our family because right now, today, I'm helping my sisters move, right? And I want to talk about family because the union is a family, right? And families have women and men. And children. It has elders and it has young people. And a healthy family understands that we don't always get along, but we are about each other. We're gonna help each other. So my sisters and I, now we say we're sisters, right? So then we gotta deal with that whole thing of because Lamuba's oldest sister and I look alike. That's my husband, Lamuba, of almost 30 years. His oldest sister and I look alike. And then his younger sister looks just like him. And then the next one under them is between the two of us. And, you know, the complexions go from me all the way down, right, all the way up, whichever way you want to put it. So people are always trying to figure out, are you women? They're like, Vicky must be your sister and Mary. No, those are actually my husband's sisters, but they love me so that you can't separate us. So my sisters, they bought a house over on Birchcrest, right, which is around the block and across the street from us. They moved into the house on 7 Mile. Which is back across the street, even closer, right? They found a house that has, it looks like, you know, one house on the outside, but it's a family flat, right? So Vicky has her own kitchen, Mary has her own kitchen, but we want to live close to each other in this, our third chapter or final, what do you want to call it? Third base, right? The last quarter, however you want to say it, right? Vicky and I are 60, so we know we just want to be chill. We want to do a lot of moving after this. But I want to talk about family because they're moving. And so my responsibility in the move is to go and cleanse and bless, right? So I go and I wipe the kitchens down. I wipe them down. I pray over them. I bless them so that whatever was there before we got there, we release it. And then we ask for God's blessings on everything we create and everything we do while we're in this space. So that's my responsibility. So for 2 days, I've been cleansing and blessing. And then I got to cleanse the closets out. I got to clean the closet. I got my Florida water now for y'all daughter's into that, it's cool. Don't worry about it. It's all good. You just got to go back to your great grandma. I'm with her. I'm with them, right? So I get me some Florida water. They used to use vinegar. See, they use vinegar on the window sills and the windows because they want to let any kind of negative energy, right? If you are arguing, cussing, and fighting type of family, we want to release that because we don't want that in our family. So I'm the one that goes in and does the cleansing. And so the truck literally just finished getting loaded and drove on across the street. They taking all day too. Drove on across the street. So I apologize that I didn't have time to go get, my beautification game on. But I came here to talk about family. So I said, well, it's perfect. I got on my Uggs and my jogging suit. I got my hair pulled back because my sisters and I, we are there for one another, right? Now, when we met, the woman I met, I was 29. I was a single mom. I had just recently divorced. I moved back home because I needed the safety and security of my parents. And so then when I met Lumumba and we started our journey together, his sisters, I'm gonna tell you this one story. So I went to go pick up a heating pad for Lumumba over his sister's house, and Mary answered the door. Now she's on the phone with Vicky. And she say, oh, no, this is one of his friends. This ain't his girlfriend because she light-skinned and flat-chested, right? He had a type, he had a type. And so, and a few months, y'all see we telling stories, right? This happened to me. And so, a few months later now, we really into this thing. We like, you know what? I really dig him. Like, everything is working out. Now, I just had one little issue. He was 5 years younger than me. He was like 24. I was like, oh, I don't know about that. And when he said, well, is there a problem? I had to think about it. So it's really not a problem unless I make it a problem, right? So we dating. So now Mother's Day comes around and we go to his grandmother's church. His grandmother had been playing the organ for the Presbyterian church since she was 5 years old. So Mother's Day is spent at her church, and then we go to a brunch, and then we go to her house for dinner. Well, they bring me to church, and you can see Mary and Vicky doing like this. They elbowing each other. They saying, that's her, that's her. She said, I thought you said that was his friend. So they know that if Lumumba, at that time he was Leon, because I gave him that name, I'll tell you about that. So they know that Leon, if he bringing somebody to Mother Dear's church, then he must really like her. You know what I mean? I don't remember bringing nobody to Mother Dear. And then later, what sealed the deal for me, later that day, we had dinner at Mother Dear's house. Now, Mother Dear lives over on Clements. We have that house now. Have you ever heard of Detroit is Different podcast? That's our cousin, Kari Frazier. He's designated that house. That's a house where we create works of art for the city of Detroit and tell our own story. So we went to Mother Dear's for dinner, and I brought my then 3-year-old daughter, right? And I had made up in my mind, now, they seem cool, right? They go to church, okay, that's good. And, the family, okay. And his mom was cool. I said, but I'm going to see how they act when I bring my baby. See, because we all come with something, right? We bring our histories with us into families. See, when you join the union, you're coming as someone with a background, with a family, right? So I came to Mother Dear's house, and I had my 3-year-old, and I'm saying, I done made up in my mind. I ain't tell nobody this till later. I said, now, the first person that looks sideways and my baby, I don't care how wonderful I think this relationship about to be, I'm out of here. And so we get there, we're like, hey, how y'all doing? This is my daughter. They're like, oh my God, she's perfect, oh yeah. And they introduce her to the other kids, and they start to play. And growing up, people always thought that my daughter and Vicky's son, Devin, that they were twins, right? They were peas in a pod. They were a few months apart. And so it is that we became a family. And my sisters and my mother-in-law never referred to me as their brother's wife or my son's wife. I was always her daughter. I was always their sister. And so my life changed not only in the accepting of a new family and building a new family in love, which is what we do when we join, right? We get a new family, right? We have siblings and people we grew up with where we get this union with this new family, this group of people that will fight for us, that will look out for us, that will create policies to protect us. So I get this new family and I shift my life. right? From being a single mother. Now, I'm going to tell the truth because the truth will set you free. A single mother on welfare, yeah? Vicky decided, I'm going to go back to college. Now, Vicky dropped out of high school at Cooley High. So when she tried to go to Mary Grove, they almost laughed her off campus. They was like, girl, you got your GED? Well, why don't you go take some classes over at Wayne County Community College? She was like, oh, okay, no problem. She went to courses at Wayne County, got a 4.0, came back, got a Mary Grove. She said, you want to come to Mary Grove? It's great. Now, my sister Vicky is almost at her 27th year as a teacher at Cass Tech. She the baddest teacher they got. You can ask anybody. You ever had Miss Green? They're like, oh my God, Miss Green. She teaches an AP. All her kids pass an AP test. So it ain't no thing that she dropped out of high school when she was at Cooley. She's one of the best educators in our city. So she goes to Mary Grove College. She said, y'all ought to come to Mary Grove College. And I always wanted to go back to college because I went to Wayne State when I was 18, but I was just too much, with Wayne State. This just wasn't happening. So I dropped out. So Vicky goes to Mary Grove, then I apply. But now, I didn't drop out properly. The way you drop out properly, you go to the office and you say, I'm no longer going to attend school, and they give you a look. Well, if you do like I did a hood dropout. I just stopped going. Got married to some dude in the military, traveled around the world. So anyway, they looked at my records. They was like, oh, no, I think she's gonna be able to go here. So the lady, I'll never forget her name. Her name is Carla Matthews. She called my house. We lived in an apartment right here on 6 Mile. She called the house to let me know that I didn't make it in college. And my husband answered the phone. So you always gotta have an advocate. He answered the phone. He said, hello. She said, hi, this is Carla Matthews from Mary Grove College. He said, oh my God, my wife is so excited about going back to college, man. That's all she talks about. She's awesome. She's this, she's that. And Carla Matthews said she couldn't bring herself to tell him why she was calling. She just said, tell her to call me back. She went then to the nuns, because a lot of people don't know this. Mary Grove College was founded by a Black nun named Teresa Maxis. She went to the nun. She said, I don't know what to do. I got to call this lady and tell her she can make it. But her husband is so excited. And I just couldn't do it. So they said, well, let's not, people can make up rules, right? Y'all know that, right? So they made up a new rule, right? It just didn't exist. They said, we're going to make up the forgiveness clause. And we're going to tell her that we forgive her for her past. And she's on probation, right? So I get accepted into Mary Grove College. That first 4.0, I said, Carla Matthews, I'll never let you down. Here you go, baby. You won't have to go back to those nuns and say you made a mistake. See, sometimes in life, you just need another chance. You just need an opportunity. So being in a family, being in a union is about family, young, old, male, female. It's also about giving people a second chance, another opportunity, because you have no idea what giving somebody a second chance will do. It will change the trajectory of their lives forever. And so here we are. So I went to Mary Grove, and then my husband's next sister, Mary, she's 7 years younger than him. She went to Mary Grove. So we all went to Mary Grove at the same time. And we was poor. We ain't had no union jobs. We was poor, okay? And so whoever had the working vehicle that week, that's who took the kids to school. We went to Aisha Shule, affirmative school for gifted children. We had 5, Donna, Devin, Nzinga, Kaylin, and then Jabari, right? Khalil wasn't even born, that's my youngest. And so whoever's car was working, that's who took the kids to school. And that's how whoever had enough money made the lunches. Whoever, we helped each other with our bills, because that's what family does. And you know what's deep? How, at Mary Grove, people would say, oh, that's your sister. How they do. Oh, that's your sister. Oh, no, they always try to divide us by our complexion. That's silly. Stop doing that. That's from enslavement. Stop doing that. So they were like, how can y'all still all be so supportive and happy? Like, people have a problem when you're unified. When you are unified, when you are demonstrating unity, people don't even believe it. They are so cantankerous. They are so accustomed to infighting that they are trying to find the crack even in a family. So we used to laugh and talk and share our resources. And here we are 30 years later, still working together as a family, So I just wanted to talk about family, the structure of family, and how I've been blessed with the family. Because y'all, is my time running out? I got a few more minutes. Okay, I'm gonna round it up. I'm gonna round it up. I just hope I was able to motivate you and to demonstrate to you the importance of working together, the importance of second chances, and the importance of the union is a family. And sometimes there may be things you have to disagree about or hash out, but you do it together in love as a family so that you're united when you face a community that seeks to destroy us. I'm so thankful that we fought long and hard to get rid of right to work. Because I'm going to tell you, I am a principal of one of the best schools in the city of Detroit. It's like a little gem, a little jewel. Every time someone comes here, I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. And my kids are state champions in jazz music, but it's not basketball, right? So nobody knows about it. Everybody knows who won the basketball game last night, don't y'all? Don't even answer, I already know. So, but I have the students who win the national competition in jazz. I have national competitions in vocal music, have writers, composers, dancers, artists, had Alvin Ailey there for a whole week, had Debbie Allen there. You know, they don't put that stuff in the news, but my point was, in the city of Detroit, the state of Michigan, there's a law that if your school has more than, Terrence, is it more than 50 principals? If your school has more than 50 principals, they can't unionize. How many districts in the state of Michigan have more than 50 principals? One. There is only one city in this entire state that has more than 50 principals, and that is Detroit Public Schools, now Community District. It is the only one. The Republicans have made it illegal for those principals to organize and unionize. Principals in Southfield got a union. Principals in Bloomfield have a union. All over the state of Michigan. They have made, just like the right to work, it's called something positive, but it's designed to destroy people and families. It's designed to make people feel afraid, to work under conditions where they feel. And so principals in Detroit are vulnerable. We are vulnerable to the whims of the leadership. And if they want to get rid of us, they can, because we are at will and we are one-year contracts. So a lot of people don't even know that. But I know who I am and I know whose I am. And so I know that I'm going to be a blessing. If I have to be on Livernois 7 Mile, that I will be a blessing to children, because there were so many people that took time out for me. Kim Weston was one of the first of them when I was 13 years old, and this is my work ethic to this day. When I was 13, she had a program called Festival for the Performing Arts at Northwest Activity Center. I showed up every day, I signed in, and I worked 8 hours. I worked with Clifford Fears and Ron Milner. That's how I learned to dance. That's how I learned to act. I didn't find out later, do you know them kids was getting paid? I wasn't even getting paid. But that demonstrates my work ethic. When I'm committed to something, I show up, I give it my best effort, and the rest will follow, because I became one of her mentees, and God has blessed me my whole life to continue a life of arts and also be able to provide for my family. Thank you so much for allowing me to hang out with you this afternoon. Thank you, Tanya Ray, for the invitation. Stay together, family, no matter what, no matter what.
Wonderful story. Thank you. Here's a token of my appreciation.
Oh, yeah.
Cardinal.
All right, work with y'all. We almost there. We almost there. So this next young lady, I think I've met her maybe about 2 years ago, I believe. This sister and her smile just mesmerized me as we walked through the halls of the church. Now, I was introduced to her by the young lady that was sitting next to her, which is my little sister, Summer Golden. And Summer told her that I was the sister. I was like, okay, I am the sister. But some things that I've learned coming through the Grace of Fellowship Chapel is that we always have to reach back and bring one up, reach back and just support each other. And as Mama Mayo has been such an example to me, that I hope that I do the same thing as she's done for me to those who are coming behind me. She also gives the best hugs. She has an amazing voice, a tenor voice. She's the mother of 2 beautiful children. And she's recently shared some of her poetry with us. And when I thought about putting my program together, I always think about making sure that I help out or bring up a youth that is doing something. Now, my first program, I made sure my sister Ashley was here as she was moving through the ranks. This next time, I was like, man, they need to hear your poetry. They need to hear your voice. As she's now doing her thing and going into the industry of doing poetry and monologues and all of that. So the next sister that you will hear, Crystal Queen C. Cummings. Start by saying thank you, Tanya. Tanya, I call her my mama Tanya. It's like when I'm shedding tears, she's like, I don't know, looking at me all the time. Like she feels my energy. She knows what to say. I can say it. So I'm thankful for her. So I am Crystal Cummings, Queen C. I identify myself now as a queen, surviving years of sexual, physical, mental abuse at the hands of my father, followed by dysfunctional relationships. I refuse to let my past or my current situation define me. I will not be silenced. I started a business called Queen C's Poetry and Melodies. And the reason I started my business is because I have a deep passion to share what I've been through, to be able to touch the lives of other people. So I'm going to share with you one of my poems. Please feel free to go onto my website, Queen C Poetries and Melodies, to check out my new book titled My Crown, Thrown into a Narcissistic Pit. But this poem was crafted specifically for this event. Into the darkness I look, in fear of what I will encounter. Yet I prepare myself for the run, for the treacherous ground on which I will place my feet, away from that monster who chases me. I look and I see nothing but hope, a drive for a chance to free myself from the control, silence, captivity. Sticks and stones pressing the soles of my feet, yet softer than the ground I'd walked on. My skin torn by the thorns and branches, I scream from the pain, groan to the release, running to be free. I see the light, distant in the darkness. I hear the growl, snarling, hungry, ready to take me back. The smell of honeydew, the taste of sweetness rests in my mouth with anticipation to speak, embracing the pain, taking deep breaths, running away. Never to go back, never to look back to captivity, to bondage. Into the darkness with hope, I run in to be free. I've arrived. I speak and I am seen. Resignation in my voice. Freedom in my body.
Freedom to tell my story, revealing that which was kept in silence, once denied, it's revealed. I said, I've arrived. My message attempted to be withheld by the snarls of captivity. I've arrived. Encourage, perseverance, endurance, courage as we women look into the darkness with hope, anticipating the light, carrying our stories. As we continue our message, treading the uneven terrain paved by the pain, by the stones pressed into the soles of our feet. We women denying silence, holding bondage captive, telling our stories. We women who speak.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So the title of that poem was Running into Freedom,
All right.
Women Who Speak. So up next, and I need a glass of water, Summer. That's why Summer's here. Thank you, Summer. She's my assistant. We're gonna play, you all are gonna listen to, and I'll give a little snippet, but please go on to your mainstreams, YouTube, Spotify, whatever you have, to listen to my new single titled Water. Why do I feel so for you? Why do I feel so? I'm so close to you, yet out of reach, agony to my soul. You are like water to me. Shower me with your love. Water to ye. Beauty in your voice, it soothes my soul. I wonder if you're aware. You are my music, my melody. How could I let you know that you are like water to me? Shower me with your love. Water to ye. Come on, my heart, baby. Sometimes our life is like the water, like the waves, drifting, always moving into our destiny, into our goals. Things are always changing, just like the water. You are, oh, you're like the water to me. Shower me with your love. Oh, you're like the water to
to be. Ooh, water. Ooh, water. Water.
Give one more round of applause.
All right, so y'all didn't know I'm a little crybaby. I'm sitting, I'm sitting over there as a proud big sister of her. Wasn't she amazing? So, I hope you all enjoy the women's program. I stand here humbly, standing on the shoulders of many of you who taught me when I first got to the plant, Mama Rosa, Jane Granger, Hazel Fuller. Then I got to the local, and yeah, I met Auntie Peaches, Auntie KK, which I know a little story behind Auntie Peaches. As we know, she told me with my walk, ain't no switching in the kitchen. So I became a raffle girl. As I joined CBTU, I had Mama Juanita, Tracy has always given me the eye, the look to say that I'm okay. And to always let me know that it's okay to be a little firecracker. I stand before you as a women's cheer because I was voluntold by Auntie Peaches, and nobody disagreed with her. I am also amazed at the young woman that's coming behind me. Michelle Thomas, my ride or die when it's time to get on this road and get to dance. Angela Southern Girl Powell, who's always got a great word and a hug for me, who serves as our regional chair for the Women's Committee of Region 7, which we are under CBTU. I'm thankful for my mentor, Frank Woods. I'm also thankful for my spines. So if you know me and know where I came from, we got a little squad at my church that we were brought together by God, but love and sisterhood keeps us together. We was affectionately given the name of Team Too Much. So I can't do anything without them. Veronica, Angelique, Tamika, Monique, and Dorothea. And to my sisters of CBTU, I am because we are. We are because of those who came before us. And I hope that I'm doing justice for the seats that I serve for the women that came before me, Peaches and Mama Juanita, Sister Callistic, who was the chairwoman before myself. So indulged in one time. Did all the ladies get a raffle ticket? So because I didn't have $1 million to buy each and every one of you something special, I chose to do something that I've been trying to do for a minute is just give away something that says CBTU on it. So I didn't want anybody to be mad at me, so I was like, I can raffle it off today. But then I didn't have no raffle tickets. But I have faith when I came in here that one of my other big sisters who always give me a pat on the back, some said, ask Pam Powell, but she got everything. So I humbly went to her and was like, do you got some raffle tickets? I said, I know you got some in your car. She said, I think I do. So I get an opportunity to finally raffle off just a little token of appreciation to some of you, just a little token of what one of my sisters in Christ, Dr. Sakisha Green, if you all see that, you know, my purse, I have a whole purse, a wallet. Tina who made my earrings, but I wanted to raffle off this fanny pack to the ladies from She Designs. Michael Joseph, President Joseph, could you come on and help me out?
Drum roll, y'all.
You know, that's my
4, 6, 7, 8. You collect wallet.
I mean, right, it was Wallace the other day.
Yeah, wallet.
4, 6, 7, 8, 7, 0.
You got it. Say it one more time. You got it?
7, 8, 7, 0.
That's a little letter, y'all.
427
What's the number again?
8427 870. I'm sorry. 870.
Last one, 870?
Oh, that's right.
Sorry.
467 870.
Hey, that's you? Trust but verify.
All right.
That's right. What was that number again, baby?
870.
Congratulations!
Thank you, Johnny. Give a brag.
Congratulations.
This concludes the women's program. Thank you. I'd like to thank each and every lady who I asked to be on the program, who stepped up. I love you, Mama Mayowa. I love you, Ashley. I love you, Queen C. And our director who had another event, she knows how much I love her. And I appreciate all of you for believing in me. Mr. President, my program is over.
Thank you so much. Everybody give it a begin for the wonderful presenters. And thank you all for being here. We're gonna get into a little business. We have some important business to talk about, but I just wanted to add to the celebrating our sisters. Pardon me. This month, we highlight the contribution of women to history. These women have impacted and changed the world, many of them from Detroit. Like Corinda Washington is the first Black woman to be acting Assistant Secretary to Homeland Security. She's helping us when we put on our event about sex trafficking. We'll be working directly with Homeland Security. Gail Perry Mason, who teaches young people about the importance of finance. And she always, prays me. I love her so dearly. And again, as I was saying before, Frank, you and I have had this conversation how many times about the power of Black women, the backbone of Black women in the civil rights, in the unions. So anybody here know Ella Josephine Baker? Okay, well, a lot of people don't know her contributions. She's often called the mother of civil rights. And we just, honor her as a dedicated business. Everybody leaving out that one?
You gonna make it. Story gonna make
Yeah, her
it.
story's on Netflix. Also, Barbara Jordan. She's with the Watergate. She's one of the attorneys with the Watergate situation. And she's the first African-American congresswoman, Black woman elected from the South. Dr. Joanne Watson. And what she has done for this city has just been unbelievable.
Oh, yes,
Again, one of my mentors. Angelique Peterson Mayberry,
yeah.
who is the truth. She is the truth, and she cares about these children. You see the difference. They don't tell you on TV about how the scores are going up for our young Black kids in Detroit. And then another one of my mentors, Vice President of CBTU, Union Sister Cleola Brown. Cleola Brown has been doing things all over this country, all over this world. And she's the first Black woman to serve as the AFL-CIO Human and Civil Rights Director. And she's one of ours. And of course, I'd be remiss not to mention Marion Kramer. Marion Kramer is an icon. And she has done so much. We had her here last month. We're going to get her here to talk. But she started as a young person in the South, going to marches, going to meetings, and going to jail for our people. And you see, she was ready to sit down and watch Netflix and chill out. But then the city of Detroit acted like a fool. I want to take water for people. She said, I cannot, I got to keep on marching. So we honor her as well. And then as I call your name, I need you to please stand. Andela White. Tracy Dodd. Please stand. Lois Lofton Donovan, she's teaching, but she's on Zoom, everybody. If I call your name on Zoom, stand up off your couch. Tanya Ray. Angela Powell. Michelle, Miss UAW Thomas. Joanne White. Pam Powell. Pam Smith. Peaches Anderson, who we nominated for the Addie Wyatt Award, deserving Peaches. Denise Finney, she's getting married, she's in Vegas. Denise Caldwell, president of the Michigan chapter of CLU. Denise Floyd Scott, Tawana Bruce, Tawana Tucker, Chrissy Bowles, Tiffany Bush, LaTanya Phipps, and Mama Juanita McKinney. I just want to honor you, sisters. I have so much respect for you. You're looking at the backbone of CBTU, not just this year, but for many, many, many years. Peaches, I'm choked up. I'm a man up. Don't worry, I go cry. And Peaches took me in as well. Now, she didn't tell me about the Switcher stuff. I don't know about that stuff. But she taught me what it takes to be a union person, to be doing it for the right reasons, not for a title, not for the glory, but doing it for the people. And I submit to all of you, these ladies do it for the people. And I just want to honor you. So my caveat to you is that if you do not get a ticket to the luncheon, women's luncheon at the convention, I will get your ticket for you. Just let me know if you don't get a ticket. And that's on behalf of all the men at CBTU, we're gonna do that. So as I close with honoring all of you during this month, my sisters, you are in my prayers. Your life will be full of ups and downs, problems you created, inherited, or just standing and minding your own business and became intertwined with your daily life and future. You need peace more than ever, now and again. Stop worrying. Your children, health, lover, job, mama, daddy, family, money, weight, being alone, even something like that. Wherever you wear, stop worrying. Whether it's a major or insignificant issue, worrying can be harmful to your mental, physical, and spiritual health. It doesn't give life. It will weigh you down. And after you finish being tired from sleepless nights and irritable from too much liquor or drugs, the problem still won't be resolved. What are you going to do? Pray, examine, plan, execute, pray, cry, pray, plan in line with your purpose and principles. Do not gloat, do not plot. The word says anxiety, the heart of a man or woman causes depression, but a good word makes you glad. Proverbs 12:15. So whatever you all are going through right now, I am praying for you, my sisters. I love y'all. For a positive resolution in your favor. And never forget, you have the favor of God. I love you. Put Satan under your best pair of your high heels.
All right.
Now we're gonna get back to the business of CBTU. Next, going back to our agenda, again, let's give one more round of applause for our speakers and for our first vice president putting together a wonderful program to honor our city. Next up, I'm gonna again take personal privilege and switch the agenda a little bit because she has another commitment. I'm calling up next up on our agenda, be our financial secretary, Tawana Bruce.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. Our Comerica Bank balance, beginning balance for February was $4,649.24. We had accounts receivables of $3,142.50. Accounts payables of $2,858.77, which leaves our main account 0730 with a balance, ending balance of $4,932.97. Comerica Bank account 8259, beginning balance $6,747. Accounts receivables $2,575. Accounts payables $2,039.54, which leaves us with an ending balance of $7,282.46. Our First Independence Bank account beginning balance was $6,728.48. Ending balance was $6,028.48, which leaves us with all accounts balances for the end of February of $18,943.91. There's a breakdown on the financial sheet of the accounts receivables and payables. Thank you.
Any questions for Tawana? Any questions? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the report.
Motion to
Second.
accept.
Support, there's been a second, this is a motion and second. Who's second, please?
Anthony.
Anthony, thank you, Anthony. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none, thank you so much. And thank you, Tawana. Next up, everybody on the agenda will be minutes. Minutes were mailed out to you. I hope everyone had an opportunity to read those. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes as sent out with, if I could just finish, please, thank you. With any additions or corrections, I will entertain that motion. Thank you, there's been a motion to accept, is there a second? The motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Oh, okay. Pam's voice is so distinct, that just motion. Oh, yeah, right, get the right. Okay, everybody, hold on one second. Okay, technology. Next on our agenda, is correspondence, Michelle Thomas.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters.
Good afternoon.
And I would also like to wish all of the women a happy Women's Month. First on agenda, we know our annual fish fry at the TULC will be April 7th. Address 8670 Grand River, and the time is 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Hoping to see everyone there. Next, we have Hello, Mr. Michael Joseph, Jameson Temple Baptist Church. Jameson Temple Baptist Church, under the dynamic leadership of Pastors Homer and Royal Jamerson, will host our first annual VIP Awards ceremony during our Resurrection Homecoming Royal Weekend. Michael Joseph, you have been selected as one of our very first VIP Community Change Agent awardees. Let's give them a hand. We are excited and energized to share this honor with you on September 8th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. Please find attached the complete details to our event. We'd like to give another hand for Michael Joseph and being honored.
Next, we have our 49th Michigan School for Women Workers, April 27th through 29th, 2023. This will be held at the Somerset Inn, Troy, Michigan. There will be various classes. The number you can call is 313-583-48, what's that, 4400, I'm sorry. Please, the phone, 313. 4400. Okay, so once again will be April 27th through the 29th, 49th Michigan School for Women's Workers. If anyone have any questions, please see Tracy Dye. And my last flyer I have for is the Canton Chapter CBTU Coalition of Black Trade Unionists will be having their anniversary celebration March 18th from 4 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Free food while it lasts. It will be held at the US 12 Bar and Grill, 34824 Michigan Avenue, and that's in Wayne, Michigan. So please, let's come out and support our sister chapter. And that completes my report.
Or
I'll say that, please. Thank you. Any questions for Michelle? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to accept the report as presented.
Motion to accept.
Thank you so much. Is there a second?
Or, who was that?
Who's the second? And
Kevin Mack.
I know, I got Kevin. Who's the second?
Denise.
Thank you, Denise. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Thank you so much. Next up, everybody on the report are committee reports. Are there any committee reports? Dave? Yeah, I can bring it to you, Dave.
On behalf of the National Retirees, I co-chair the retirees for the National. I want to really thank Sister Pam and Sister Christy for all the help that you always give us at the National Convention. We're in the process now of planning our retirees conference. It's always the Wednesday prior to the opening of the convention. And we will start off as usual with a luncheon for registered retirees. We really have to make that plain because I'll tell you, you come in there and not registered, Sister Powell will really let you know. But really, that's the one thing we start off, and again, we will go from about 11:30 until 4. If you are a retiree going to the convention, please don't miss the retirees conference. We put a little work into it and try to have an interesting session for our retirees. Secondly, there's a group that I deal with here in Michigan, the tobacco, excuse me, am I too close?
No, just one, keep the job.
Oh,
It just worked for you.
great. Oh.
Go ahead, please.
The Detroit Anti-Tobacco Coalition. They're planning something for the youth. On the 31st of March, they will have the Detroit Wayne Oakland County Tobacco Free Coalition is hosting a Take Down Tobacco Youth Action Day, which is going to be downtown at City Council. Now they're looking for about 30 youngsters from 8th grade to 12th grade. Also, for those that will attend, there will be a free luncheon, and they will give just a thank you $25 gift card for coming. They have had some very, very strong young people that understand what this vaping, what this tobacco is doing to young people. So if you've got a youngster that might be interested in participating in this, please get in touch with me so that I can pass their name and their information on up to those that's going to be running this conference in front of the city council. So that's going to be on the 31st, March 31st, starting at 9. It's going to go from about 9 until noon. So it's not going to be a long day. Luncheon will start at 11:30. That will conclude my.
And Dave, could you also share with them, we talked about the second before, about their organization, give Travis a little information?
Yeah, this organization really have an interest in taking down tobacco, these tobacco that's harming our communities. One of the things that it really started off really looking at menthol cigarettes, particularly in the Black community. They wanted, years ago, the tobacco companies, they put these flavors into the cigarettes so that it would entice more people. Now that a lot of people are getting off of cigarettes, they've got these vaping, which is another form of tobacco. And they're putting all kind of attractive flavors in them, the pineapple, coconut, and whatever, but really trying to get to our younger people, because a lot of people our ages have gotten wise to what cigarettes have done to us and have given them up. So now the tobacco companies are putting that attention back into our communities on our youth. So that's something that we need to really, really think about and try to get those messages to our young people, turn it back. All right? Again, thank you very much.
Any questions for Dave? Are there any questions?
I'm just gonna piggyback on what David said. But I believe that one of the things we can do, if you have kids in the Detroit Public Schools, there's a program by the Black Caucus Foundation of Michigan called Drug-Free Youth in Detroit. They can join that organization through their schools, through their counselors. And it's a program that actually introduces them to the skilled trades. If you remember, we would send you all to the Skilled Trades Expo before we went to the convention. It's directly tied to that Drug-Free Youth in Detroit initiative. We had about 4,000 or 5,000 kids go through that on a regular basis. So that's just another avenue. If you got kids in the public schools in Detroit, ask them to ask their counselors or principals about their program. I think we're in probably about most of the major high schools and a lot of the middle schools, but ask for it and it can spread. It might be something we can work with the Board of Education to put in all schools.
Frank, say that name again.
Yeah.
Yeah, say program name.
It's called Drug-Free Youth in Detroit Ambassadors Program. Black Caucus Foundation of Michigan. I still sit as board secretary and represent CBTU on that board. So we have direct influence on it.
Thank you, Frank. Any other committee reports? Any other committee reports? Okay, hearing that, we will move on. I will entertain a motion to accept Dave's report. Is there a second? Second by Kevin.
Please, when they make a vote, when they say
Okay.
who you are, because I can't.
She can't see her here.
All right, who made the motion, please?
Romel Willis.
Thank you. Who second?
Anthony Thomas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Move forward. Just to give you a caveat, we're gonna detour a little bit so I can get you all out of here. Frank, help me out with this because I don't have all the information. We are having a regional conference coming up, Frank, April.
April
Yeah, thank you, Frank. Sure. We want to make sure Detroit shows up at the meeting.
We are having our regional conference next month at the UAW Local 652 in Lansing, Michigan. The theme of the conference is Standing United for Change. The invited guest speaker is the governor, Gretchen Whitmer. We put out as a matter of fact, we're waiting on that answer this week so we can lock it in. But we're really asking that we can make a big effort to show up there because of all the things that's going on with the repeal of right to work. That'd be another way we can give her great thanks for what she's done for labor. And if we show up in numbers, that'd be a good showing from all the different unions that are involved in CBTU. So that's April 15th. 10 o'clock, 10 to 3, UAW Local 652 in Lansing, Michigan, and there will be a call letter coming out shortly. It's already out? Okay, all right, great.
And also, everybody, you can go to their Cash App. I believe it's $20, and then it's after a certain date. I think.
Good evening, afternoon, you all. Okay, the conference is Saturday, April 15th, from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at UAW Local 652. The address is 426 Clare Street, Lansing, Michigan. The registration fee is $20 up until April the 10th. After April 10th, it'll be $25. And you can pay on Cash App, but then Region 7 Cash App. It'll say Region, $ Region 7 CBTU is our Cash App address. If you have any allergies or anything or diet restrictions, we're asking that you send that notification to the Regional Director, Dana. He has here, registration is from 9 to 9:45. We have a continental breakfast from 9:15 to 9:45. The conference will start at 10 o'clock.
Also, if you use that Cash App, put region conference in the memo.
Yeah, so they'll know. And just, excuse me, everybody, say we really want to have a big number to do that. What Frank said is so important because not just, okay, we won and we start, that's one of the problems with Democrats. They win something, they stop. Republicans win or lose, they keep going. So we let the governor know he did good, but we got some more stuff we need to do. So hope that you will all be able to be there. It's going to be information about the bylaws and some other great information. So please, if you can, make sure that you will attend. It's also supporting our Lansing chapter as well. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Chrissy. Next up is the president's report. I'm going to give you the short version. Early this morning, I was in training with National on the convention. There's a lot of things going on. If you plan on going to the convention, you need to register and pay your dues now. They're not playing with it. The hotels are being all sold out. If you plan on going today, you should make your reservation. I strongly recommend it. People are really, the ball is starting to move there. Whether it's your local sending you or you're going on your own, but you need to make that decision very, very soon. The convention is 43 days away. All right, what's happening now? Our meeting today about membership. It is crucial, again, that you sign up because if you're not in good standing 30 days before the convention, you will not be seated as a delegate. You'll just be a guest. And I don't know if your union wants to send you as a guest. So please do that. You can contact Tracy. You can go online. We ask you, please, 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 like we asked you today, before you leave here, please make sure you sign in. When you sign in on that application, when you give us a paper application, you must print clearly. We have one mistake. We can't tell if it's an I or S. You may not get that email. We are still having problems with people receiving their emails. So again, with the training I had today, and I'll be sharing with our membership chair today, the Nationals got a great program, but we have to take advantage of it. And you'll be getting a new way of getting information. We'll get that to you. Membership cards. We're gonna have another training on membership cards. Those will be going out next week. But if you need a letter or something for you, I've sent letters to different people, let me know and I'll send you a personalized letter. Again, the online payment, please do not send your payments to National. Couple of reasons. One, they have old applications and they put down $30. No, our dues are $40 minimum and $20 for retirees. So please send your dues electronically on our website or our Cash App or email Tracy. Because when it goes there, it's back and forth and it just gets crazy. The process of what we have done, Detroit, we take our membership money, then we send our money to our to National. And it's much, much cleaner and not confusion. Again, 30 days. We have a spreadsheet of the newly paid members. That way we can also, if you ask us, hey, Michael, am I paid? Tracy, am I paid? We have a way to hit the button we can find out instead of us going through a whole lot of paper. And again, the membership will expire December 31st. As soon as we have that training, we'll get the membership cards to you. And you can go on their website and get all this information. They have a lot of things happening. Again, those who may or may not know, the convention will be May 24th through 29th in New Orleans. The theme is confronting radical dangers for our families and our future. And again, you can register online. There'll be some extra workshops on that Tuesday, May 23rd, 2 great workshops. Matter of fact, I believe, Tracy, you're doing those workshops. Again, put another feather in CBTU Detroit's cap, but our own Tracy her team put that together. That's going to happen the day before. The scholarship, they held at the last meeting I had with them, only one person has submitted a national scholarship. That's bad. Our scholarship is up and running. Lois wasn't able to be here today, but you'll be seeing that. Go to our Facebook page, everybody like the Facebook page, the Twitter, Instagram, all that information is right there. Like what Frank said today about the call letter. Call letter is on our Facebook page, and you can find out that information. But right now, the National CBTU Scholarship only has one person. So that information is on there as well, on their website. Get that information and apply. April 15th is that deadline. On May 24th, they're going to have a skilled trade job fair, which should be great. And the Addie Wyatt Award, I was going to read it, but I'm not going to read it, but we nominated our wonderful Peaches Anderson. And I'm really hoping that she gets it. But as a matter of fact, it's find out Peaches in the Congressional Record of the United States Congress. So I'm just proud of you for what you do, Peaches. Saturday night. They are now going to have a men's breakfast. The men's breakfast will be May 27th. I bought my ticket this morning and it was $75. The women's luncheon, if you're going to the women's luncheon, it's $85. I suggest that you get that done quickly because that one will sell out. Like I said, my sisters that stood up, whatever we can do, we're gonna make sure we get you there. But you will not get a ticket. It will be on your ID. So just be aware of that. They've added a special event, everybody, on the 28th. It costs $70 in advance, $80 at the door. Lenny Williams, Shucky Ducky, and Sherman Golden, those are comedians. Lenny Williams, a great singer. They're going to have a show, and they're also going to have cash and music and prizes and stuff like that. There's no proof of vaccines required. Although if you want to wear a mask, they encourage you to wear a mask. But at this time, the local government and the municipalities there are not requiring a mask. Again, early registration. I'll ask Christy, I couldn't see Christy. March 17th is the early registration. If you send your registration in by that time, you get the lower price. I'll give you the exact number. But for Ford Motor Company employees, you can use your vendor. Your voucher.
Hi, everyone. As Dave indicated, yes, I'm part of our national credentials. I'm one of the co-chairs. For the Ford employees, and hear me out, this is for Ford employees. We were made aware that you all cannot apply for the voucher until 60 days prior to the convention. We are aware that that is after the early registration deadline. The early registration deadline is March 17th. But with our IT team, as long as you have registered online, do the online application. I'm preferencing the online application. Because the mail-ins, we don't get those as fast, so we want you to do the online registration. When you get to the payment part, you're not gonna be able to complete it. You won't be able to complete that part, because if you're using your voucher, you won't be able to apply for the voucher. But as long as you have your online application in the system, once you apply for your voucher, then I'll be able to go back and make that correction. Okay? And we're indicating that because there is a increase. And the increase for retirees, you go from 250 to 300. Retirees, 250 to 300. For regular employees, it is 350, I think it's 350 to 400. Okay, so that is the difference. So as long as you do your voucher, I'm one of the individuals now through national office that can go in and see all of that information from your Ford, I think it's called ETAG voucher. We had a Kabako for the 22 convention. We were able to get that corrected. Thank you, Phil. Phil was the one that notified of a letter that multiple of you all have received. And because of the process that I had set up last year, getting everybody's voucher numbers, we were able to go in and make that correction without notifying any of you that it was being taken care of, and that you didn't have to do anything. So I've been assigned to UAW. I am a proud UAW member. I'm a member of Local 2500 Blue Cross and Blue Shield. So make sure, please, you have until Friday to get all of your information in. It does not preclude you from registering after that, but if you all want to take advantage, because from my understanding, you all only get so much per year under that stipend. So if to attend your other conventions and notices. So please do that. And if there's run into any problems, please contact me, let me know. Those individuals from local 900. Phil, is that your local?
Yeah.
900. 900 has already notified me and given me all of their names. I have to contact Carmen Leonard because a few have not completed the online. I'll just let her know who. But so far, because last year we had 40 individuals, this year I've already surpassed 40 that are using the voucher, which is a good thing for you all. For those of you that have the Chrysler and General Motors, I've been advised that you all can contact your education department and be able to get that information. I don't know what your deadlines are or any of that information, but if there is a voucher involved, please let me know so that we can, get on board with General Motors and Chrysler.
Chrissy.
Status.
Stellantis, Chrysler, and GM are doing that. They're not doing that.
Okay,
Just Ford.
just Ford, yeah. So I'm not sure, because I know Blue Cross, we don't do it either. So, okay, any other questions?
Kim,
How do we contact you?
My phone number is 313. I'm sorry, my phone number is 313-516-5808. Excuse me, 313-516-5808.
Thank you.
Okay?
let me do my Oprah thing. So Chrissy, if somebody wanted to volunteer to help you with credentials, what should they do?
With credentials, please, if you're going to volunteer, turn your name into Michael Joseph. The credentials committee, we meet that Tuesday evening at the convention. Our meeting is scheduled for 6 o'clock. We are always seeking volunteers, as Pam and so other individuals, Cal, Michael, they work with us in registering our delegates. There is an awful lot of work that we do from the time of the convention to the close of the convention. So please, if you want to volunteer, again, reach out to me via phone or by email or through through Michael, the presidents or the region, so that you all can get involved. I'm more than willing to teach anyone this process. It is time consuming. And very important, and as Dave and Michael alluded to, we have an additional assignment this year in reference to the luncheons. To the lunches, most people figure that they can get tickets at the convention for these luncheons and breakfasts. That's not a guarantee. That is not a guarantee. Yes, last year, for those of you that went to the convention, we did not have any women's luncheon tickets available on site. We had none. It was sold out before we got to the convention. So if you all are interested in going to the convention, to the men's breakfast, that is one of the new events this year that's gonna be taking place. If you're interested in going, please, please, please do it ahead of time. I have a meeting tomorrow evening with credentials, so we're not sure as to what our numbers are gonna be for the men's breakfast. But if it's gonna be anything like the women's, it's gonna get sold out. Okay, so please, if you're interested,
Your phone number one more time?
313-516-5808. Okay,
Thank you, Chrissy. And try to reach me, my number, this number, not the old number, 248-470-7242, 48470-7242. I love you. Okay, moving on, everybody. So again, what Chrissy said, man, take that's serious. I mean, that's why we spending time on it. So you won't get down there and can't get in somewhere. You know, we don't want that to happen to you. Again, to give you the prices, the early bird registration deadline is March 17th. The price is $375 for early. After that is $400. I'm sorry, $400. Retirees, $300 early and $350 if you're late. And the guest rate is the same. Again, I am telling you, reserve your room. Remember, you can always, cancel out. But the other thing they said this morning, that if you know you're not going and you made a reservation, please release that room. Because a lot of people are trying to get those rooms. We have 2 locations. The main hotel is the Hilton New Orleans Riverside. Everything is happening, including the parties and stuff. The overflow hotel is the Lowe's New Orleans Hotel, about a block away, but it's more expensive. Resolutions. If anybody would like to submit some resolutions, please contact Lois or myself. We are in the process of trying to pull some together. The last time we did it on CRT. Or if you have some ideas right now, before you leave, give them to us so we can work on it. If you'd like to work on the writing of the resolution, let us know that as well. But we want to have at least one resolution from the Detroit chapter. And we talked about volunteers. So right now on our people who are on the committees, Michelle Thomas is on resolutions. We have Tanya Ray's on Constitution. Vince Giles is Sergeant at Arms. Lois is on scholarship. Phil is on rules. And Gary Grant is on elections. Okay, and again, how do you guys think about this new location? You like it? Yeah, give it up for them. They wonderful little family. We see all that history, revolutionary that made a difference. Last month, we had a great program, Black History program on slave catchers, stress, and scorpions, done by Dr. Gregory Hicks, and we're gonna redo it. People just loved it. The boat ride, we talked about it at our last meeting here. We talked about it on the executive board, and we've come to a conclusion, and if you'd like us to do something different, let us know. The cost of the boat ride would be like about $10,000. We'd have to sign a contract for over $2,000. But we don't know if we can sell all of those tickets. And we had a lot of apprehension. In the past, folks, we've had the boat ride and folks did not sell their tickets. They kept their tickets or didn't turn their money in, and we had to go in our pocket. Phil and I were dancing all night long, trying to find some money. So what our executive board talked about doing is doing alternative. We already have some other alternative fundraisers. For example, we are going to do a hip hop comedy cabaret. What we're going to do is have all these young folk that like to rap. We're going to have a rap contest, right? All the locals. all right? But it had from different locals, but it had to be dealing with solidarity, dealing with the union, okay, in that rap. And we have, clean comedy. I mean, won't be like Chris Rock. But it will be some good, so we're looking at that, and the other piece of it is, again, getting more exposure for CBTU Detroit and CBTU. We also are looking at have some workshops, very affordable workshops, like maybe $20, $25, no more than 30. Again, teaching young people, bringing them in. We got the expert right here, Tracy. So if you would like to be part of that committee, let us know, contact me, contact Tracy, Kevin, okay, Kevin Mack, since he wants to be part of that. Anybody else? Anthony Thomas? I feel like the auction guy. Anyone else? And we got time. Cal Lester? Okay, and I'm again, everybody, before you leave here, I need you to sign in and pay your dues. If you can't pay them there, that's fine. At least fill out the paperwork so we'll have it. I will come get the money. Our political action plan, and that, again, what Frank alluded to with the governor. We're gonna start early. The elections are coming up. We're not gonna sit back like some Democrats do. What our director said is very, very important. Detroit ain't got nobody black in gun. John James ain't black. Okay? You heard that from me. I ain't ashamed. I'll say it again. John James ain't black. And he's anti-union. Ain't he, Frank?
Yeah, Daddy is the whole family from back. Yeah, you hit me. That's right.
Anti. So we need to get somebody who thinks like us. Because, it ain't about the skin color. Because everybody's saying skin color ain't kin. You know what I'm saying? But we need somebody who's looking out for working people, who are black, who are brown, who are white, who are young, whatever color they are. But in Detroit, historically, we have had an African American representing us, whether it was George Crockett, or John Conyers, or the great Carolyn Cheese Kilpatrick, who brought the bacon to Detroit. Let's not forget that. Yes, go ahead, Frank.
You gotta remember, those people were of the community. That means they came out of the community. You got a lot of folks that say they're from our community, but they're not of our community.
You mean like Shree Turner? Shree moved from Ann Arbor down here. I think he might not stay there overnight, but I think he had a house here.
He's not of the community, he doesn't have a relationship with us in the community. Remember, there's a difference.
Yeah, sure is. When you're paying people to pass out your literature. Yeah.
Are they of the community? They come from what we've been through.
So we are going to be pressing forward, everybody. Our political plan was really good last year. It's going to be even better this year. Polo shirts. Those of you have not received your polo shirts, you will be getting them. We've had a major issue with the vendor. I won't spend any more time going there, but I already told you I committed to it. I promise. I was on the committee that pulled it all together. They took it away from us, brought some other folk in, and they screwed it all up. So now they're asking me to fix it. I will fix it. You will get your polo shirt. Birthday club. Also, by the way, when you fill out your application, put in your birth date, not the year, but the birthday. We want to celebrate. Any March birthdays here?
That's right.
What's your birthday?
That's right.
What day?
Deuce, baby.
Deuce. That means 22? Okay. When is yours? When is St. Patrick's Day? That's why I said all the black Irish people, you know what I'm saying? I'm Irish. No, you ain't, you a Negro. Okay. Anybody else? Al? March 5th. Oh, yours Pat. Okay. I was just about to give you some money, but since I wait next year. Who else get birthday in March? All right, but let's sing happy birthday real quick. The Stevie Wonder version. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right, everybody, as I'm getting to the end of my report, just let you know about some upcoming events. I want this room to be doubled in size next week or next month. We are having a CPR class. So I'm hoping every member here will bring about 5 people. You see, this is really serious. I had this class nice to work at UW4 downtown. We all, Kevin, what's the question?
Is that CPR class will it include Narcan training?
Say one more time, sir. Well, it is done by our care team. By the way, if anybody wants to be in our care team, we got some great things coming up. Lula Oldham is doing the training.
I'll have to ask about that. I don't have the answer to that. I'm pretty sure she probably does, but I'll find out and get it to you.
If not, I can get attached to it.
Okay, cool. Matter of fact, I'll put you two in touch and you guys can do that. But everybody, this is something life-saving. We having this great meeting, we having fun, we had great speakers. And what if one of us fell out with a heart attack? Would you know what to do? I'm being very serious. Would you know what to do? Because we're human beings. I am a trained ERT technician, okay? And I am trained. But believe me, if somebody fell out in front of me, I'm gonna be, what do you tell me to do? But thank God I know what to do. Okay, so the other thing we're gonna look into, I'm working on trying to get a grant to get a defibrillator to donate it to this organization here, so they'll have it here. But I encourage all of you, and again, CBTU in the community, doing good in the neighborhood. After we do our training here, then following week, we're gonna do it out in the community, so the community can learn this skill. And Lula has some other things coming up, just like the train derail, those chemicals, that's what our care team does. So she's gonna be putting on programs about that, so we know what to do. Just think about this, everybody. When you don't get involved in politics, don't about voting. Why the hell would you have a train derail in Ohio and then send the damn stuff to Michigan? And we got Great Lakes. Great Lakes. So we gotta do what we gotta do. So again, April 13th, the care team will be here. I'm sorry, on April 8th and April 13th, we'll be here in the community. In May, we're gonna have a partnership with Bridging Communities. We're gonna be doing the first time home buyers workshop again. It is excellent. I told you guys a story. I was just there to introduce it because it was a joint venture, and I stayed for the whole 4 hours. And I do real estate, and I learned a whole lot. I thought I knew stuff. I didn't know nothing. They have programs, everybody, that will give you $10,000 on your down payment. They're not gonna tell you that, but they do. So we want you to take advantage of it. Forget about the time, the credit rate's going up. Get you a house. And we doing CB2 Detroit. What we want to do is make sure Detroiters are buying these homes. I don't know if y'all watched Mike Duggan. Y'all see all that money they got? We need to get to that money. For which one, baby? Oh, in May. We're solidifying the date because of the different lenders. We have about 4 or 5 lenders trying to make sure it'll be on a Saturday. It's usually like 10 to 2 or 10 to 1 or something like that. And we can't only do it on a Saturday. Thank you, Peaches. CPL training, we'll have that again. Those who want to get your CPL, the Wayne County Sheriff will be the instructor like last time, and that will be in June. The Human Trafficking Project with Homeland Security is ongoing. We have more information for you. Our Men's Health Fair will be going up in August, and I told you about the labor training targeting young and union, including new members at low cost. The Labor Studies meeting, we're gonna be going down to Wayne State to have one of our meetings down there and get some young people. I've already talked to Bob and Dave. We're gonna pull together the Bridge to Connection. Peaches, you might need to join us. Roundtable discussions, we're gonna try to do it at TULC. Bridge to Connection between the young members and our retirees. Because a lot of times these young people be like, oh man, I wanna do this. And they forget we used to be young too. We used to want to do that. I told a famous story. I was at a meeting with Ernie Lofton, and I got up and started talking about stuff we need to do and all that stuff. You know what he told me? Sit down and shut up. And then after the meeting, he said, come here, young man. I see something in you. Come on. You want to learn to do something? Come on. Let's go do the work. And here I am today. Donna Brazil, Ben Crump, Hakeem Jeffries are on our line upcoming with our political action workshop videos. And then something we'll talk about new business with Mike Duggan is talking about. I'm gonna get your opinions on that. So that concludes, that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Move to accept. ML, move to accept.
Thank you. Thank you. Kevin Mack. All in favor? Any opposed? Next, we're gonna open up the floor to old business. Is there any old business? Any old business? Any new business? Go ahead, Bob.
Okay, we have a petition going around that supports Medicare for all. And what it basically does is we began with this group on the west side. We're trying to get everyone to sign it. and then we're gonna go to our representatives. Michigan used to lead everything in this country. We used to pay so much tax to the federal government, we didn't even need anything back because we had good paying jobs and we took care of people. Now what has happened is the corporations are putting us in as indentured servants. We have to beg them for everything. And Jimmy Settles, I think this is probably the best way to say it. 2005, he writes this article and he shows how all these other countries, the European countries, have laws that protect the workers. We don't have them. And this is what he said. In most categories, the societies are judged by we're not even in the top 10. We're not even close. It's time for our countries to return to the days when workers and the middle class matter, not just the corporations. We need a national health care for all to overall physical and economic health and sustainability of our economy and our people. That's what this is about. If we would have national health care, we'd be going in there talking about money. We wouldn't, the healthcare would not be the first item on these contracts. We better grow up and realize that these people, being these corporations, are turning around and using us. Do you realize what the CEO of Blue Cross Blue Shield makes?
Too much.
Before they changed the laws in Lansing, where they went for profit, okay? Before that, he was making $700,000 a year. That would even be nice now, right? He's making between 14 and 17 million. So where do you think that's coming from? Our co-pays, our deductibles, all the stuff that we're paying. Last year, the CBO, the Congressional Business Office, did an audit. And it said there would be a surplus in the state. Everybody, and this is what her business, two things. It would control those profits. People could get health care, vision, everything, not free of charge, because you'd be taking the money you already spent, putting it in the system, not letting it go for profit. And the other thing it said that business didn't like, you probably wouldn't have to work so damn hard. It really, I mean, that's what they said. So please sign, and what our intent is to take these petitions, we're gonna put them on a disc, and then we wanna hit every representative's office on a certain day, West Side, for example, Saginaw office in Grand Rapids, Lansing, Detroit, up, I think she has one up in Holton or someplace. But, try to hit them all at one same day.
Thank you, Bob. And those petitions are on the table there, they're not by, you gotta go around, okay, not by county, they're by state. Denise Caldwell.
Good afternoon, CBTU. Last Wednesday, several of us were in Lansing with House Bill 40045 and 7. And they passed, and that's dealing with right to work and prevailing wage. On Tuesday, it's going before the Senate. So please, ma'am, and please, sir, if you're not busy Tuesday, come up to Lansing, 8:30. Michelle?
Yeah, well, Divine Cash said this Tuesday, they're probably gonna be meeting, they would like, if you can, to leave this way about 6:30.
Per Yvonne Cash, she was saying if we could leave this way about 6:30 to get there, because usually the Senate does meet a little earlier. And also to be prepared, because opposition more than likely will be there. So those that can, please come out.
Hope if you don't get locked out like they did in Fulton.
Yeah, and
Now, Wednesday was long, Tuesday. I mean, this week we were there Wednesday. It was a very, very long day, but we really didn't have, they had opposition on the floor, but it wasn't like, people that were protesting, like we protested back in the day, was the 2012. It was nothing like that outside. So, as a matter of fact, when everything was over, because it didn't end till like almost 10 something at night. So after the bills did pass, because we did win those bills, we stood up and gave them a standing ovation, and all of the Democrats on the floor had their fist bump. bought up. So that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. It was a long day though.
And watch this, y'all. Watch the power of CBTU. So what, man, if I was like, I'm doing my Oprah moment, and I wanted to get some people up there who ain't got no gas money, you think you know somebody got a bus for you to get?
My local union will pay for the bus if we can fill up a bus to go up there.
I heard it. Give it up, y'all. Your local is?
IBW 58 electrical workers.
All right. Hi, how are you? Just say hi to me. All right, here we go. So I'm coming to you, baby. Come around. So that can be there. So can you, Kev, you and I are talking, let's come up with a strategy so we can get the word out. Okay, Tracy, you help me with that? And Michelle Thomas, will you help me with that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Who's going up? You can take your name and number now. If there's anybody that's interested in the bus that our brother has offered.
Right.
so please give your name and number and we can coordinate from that.
You heard what Michelle said. Okay, first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out, but this is important. This election that they're counting the ballots, you heard our regional director say that keep your prayers up there because blessings will come down and we got to create a miracle on this. We got great leadership right here in this room, but if we don't start carrying this message out, it won't go nowhere. It dies right down. Oh, okay. And Michael, we thank you, but most of all, our sister that thought of us to do this today. Let's give her a round of applause. I know that we've been here for a long time, but it'd break my heart if I don't make this statement about our brother that just made history at Local 600.
That's right.
Yes.
That's getting ready to make history.
That's right.
Because we're gonna do this. And what I told him Thursday evening, it's called, let's do it. You know what President Obama said? We can. Well, we are. Let's do it. Tony Rickett of Local 600 will be the first elected Black president of Local 600. I mean, they talk about us. We made great history. We got pilots there. And I got these young sisters coming up on me because I won't be there in a few years. But they're gonna be trained right, we're gonna fight right, and we're gonna continue to do what I did and still will be doing on my birthday. So I only have 3 more years and I'll be 80. So
Double deuces, that double deuces? So what she's saying, everybody, let me share with you as we close, we're getting ready to get out of here. I was a young man working on the line in the Dearborn Assembly plant. 3 white supervisors went around the plant, had no fear with Klan hoods on, making fun of us as workers. We went over to our UAW leadership. They didn't do a damn thing. So when I was sitting there, that's why I was crying when they said Tony's name, because I'm seeing I'm getting choked up now, seeing a Black man as elected president. So I know we'll do something just like your story. We know, again, we put people in office who know, like what Frank said, who are from us. Can make a difference. So we close, we got any other, Chrissy?
Metro Detroit Clue has a meeting
Tuesday.
Metro Detroit Clue has a meeting Tuesday. And 2 of our sisters are one of the officers for Metro Clue. And the meeting is this Tuesday at the Redford Township District Library, which is at 25320 6 Mile, Redford. Meeting starts at 5:30. And those officers are Andella White and Miss Cal Lester.
All right. All right.
Okay, yes, sir, Kelly.
And we have sitting next to our state president, Sister Denise Caldwell, who is also part of Detroit.
We're ready to close. We're ready to close. Yes, Kelly.
Sunday, March 26th, my local is partnering with the DSA to putting on a beating apathy class and organizing conversations class. My local is in Detroit. It's on 1358 Abbott Street. If you're interested in attending, there's an RSVP list. Once the cap is made, we're going to schedule another workshop. But we got to fill up the class. It's a cap of 50 right now. The more we build the workshops, the more we can put on more workshops.
Can you send that information to Tracy or to
Yeah,
Michelle?
and then I can send it out.
Say again, Tracy?
No, you send it to me, I can
Okay, yes, you can send it to Tracy, you can get the word out. Everybody, take advantage of our social media. We work hard to try to make it good, but as we get ready to close with announcements, I like all the new members, stand, all new members of CBTU Detroit, stand up. New members? You a new member? Okay. But, all right, you got a new member? You tell them your name and your local and what you do.
My name is Kiara Shanklin. I'm from Local 51. What do I do? Oh, I'm on the executive board at Local 51.
Thank you. Any other new member? Here we come. It's like so down to you now.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lakita Mahone from Local 869, Warren Stamping. I'm a quality inspector, and I'm also a member of the Civil and Human Rights Committee.
So let's give them a standing ovation for being here, part of our CBTU. I got another one. Oh, who I got? I got another new member.
I'm not new, but it's my first time at it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Sandor. Welcome Sandor back, everybody. Sandor back. He's really about to kick butt now.
Hi, my name is Kevin Mack, 2-year dues paying member, but my first meeting I'm attending. I'm a member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 58, and I'm chairman of our executive board.
All right. Good brother, you're a great priest. All right, everybody, we're going to, oh, I got somebody, oh, I'm sorry. Who I got? You ain't new.
Encourage him to be involved and make sure we get somebody from IBEW on our executive board.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. Hey, how's Larry doing?
No, I said since he's no longer active.
No, it's a how you doing? We had a chance to talk to
Larry Page.
Yeah, Larry Page. He's been dealing with some illnesses as well. All right, everybody, are there any other announcements? Hearing none, I will again ask all of you, please pay your dues. Please fill in the paperwork so our membership chair can send you information about meetings. Yes, hold on.
If you pay your dues online, or if you pay your dues by Cash App, I still have to have a registration form. Because just paying your dues and giving me a name does not give me your information, and that information is needed. You'll never get an email if we don't have an email address. And new members, old members, whatever, I need your information. And like Mike said, if you fill this out, if you handwrite it, please write in English. Too many times I get it's a S, and it should have been a 5, and I give it to Phil. Phil don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And then you don't, then you complain and you don't get an email. We can't read your writing. All right, thank you.
Before we go, yes, one more. Hold on, please.
Let's not forget to keep our president emeritus in your prayers. Bill Lucy, he's having mobility problems now. Let's keep him in prayer.
It is time for, we'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Normally, we pray it out by just saying, Father, in the name of Jesus, I should bless everybody in this room, but to be covered by the blood of Jesus and their family, especially their children. I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Is there a second? Vote with your feet. Thank you for coming, everybody. Be safe. Don't forget to set your clock back. Or forward, or back, forward. Oh, just go to bed, wake up early. Come on up here, make sure you sign in, please.
Got a question for you. You might be able to help me with this. I paid my dues via cash. Just did it Monday, right after we had the board meeting. Is there a way I can show receipt? Okay, right there. I just want to see if you understood. It's right there.